Have you ever wanted to make those professional seams you see on ready-to-wear projects? With the flat fell foot, you can actually create those in two simple steps. Bernina actually makes 2 feet, one with a smaller groove for more delicate fabrics, with a 4 millimeter finished size, as well as an 8 millimeter wide foot that finishes for heavier fabrics. And for a bonus, I'm going to show you how you can make a nice 1/4 inch tie using the wider foot. Now, this is achieved in two simple seams. And if you don't have a serger or you just want that nice finished seam on the back, you're going to notice that there are no raw edges when you're done. So we're going to start off with the larger one. So we'll put on the 8 millimeter flat fell foot here. And the way you actually set it up is you need your fabrics positioned wrong sides together and extending about 1/2 inch over the edge. So we're going to go ahead and start by turning this in, putting it underneath the foot for its first seam. Once this is actually started, and I'm going to move the needle a little bit over to the left side, so I'm catching a little bit more closer to the raw edge of the fabric here. Once I get it started, sink the needle down, and then you can actually bring that raw edge up into the foot. And the machine's really going to do the work for you. You can almost close your eyes. You don't even have to really see it. It's going to guide it perfectly down through the groove of the foot. All right. Now for the fun part. All you need to do is open this up. You don't even need to press it open. We're going to slide it into the groove, slide it down, and stitch again. You're going to find it's going to guide this perfectly without you having to do much work at all. And when you look, these seams are perfectly parallel, like you've used the edge stitch foot, but the foot is doing it all for you. Look at how perfect that turns out. You can use some of like a triple straight stitch. You can use some heavier threads to get a more defined look. It really is a neat foot to have. And look, 2 simple steps and away you go. Let's try it with the finer fabric. All right, back to a center needle position for this one. You'll notice that is actually the only position that you can use. I'm going to just bring my bobbin thread or my top thread down below. Again, we need to position the fabrics wrong sides together. And this time without as much of an overlap, a little bit smaller because this is for lighter weight fabrics. So I'm going to just extend the lower edge and put that underneath the foot just for a couple stitches before we load it up into the groove. Once it's in there, you can just go ahead and stitch. Now, just a note, you're going to find that you do need to really have your tensions nicely set for this particular technique, because one seam you're actually seeing the back side of your fabric or the bobbin thread, and the other seam is the top stitching. So if you have one that's a little bit not perfect, you're going to notice that. So you want a nice balanced stitch. Use the same thread in your needle and your bobbin. That's going to probably be the easiest way to achieve that. You know, for inspiration for where to use a lap seam foot, all you need to do is really just look in your closet. You're going to find a lot of garments are completely constructed using this technique. A lot of your men's shirts are done that way. And just bring that right on up. Notice I don't have to go to the iron to press that over. I'm going to go ahead and just take that seam perfectly all the way down. So yes, look at ready-to-wear fabrics. If you're doing anything where you are crossing a seam and it's going to be a little bulky, it's recommended that prior to the seam, you want to actually take the fabric out of the foot, cross over the bulky seam, and then reload it into the foot. It'll make it so it doesn't stick as it's trying to go through that smaller area there. You can do some gentle curves with this as well. So as you're putting in sleeves, armhole areas, it's going to be able to accommodate just perfectly. Isn't that pretty? All the way down. Okay, ready for the bonus feature for making those ties? We're going to use the wider foot and that is number 71. The smaller one is number 70. Now, I've taken a strip of fabric and pressed it in half, wrong sides together. I only have to do the first press. I'm actually going to finger press this in as I load it into the foot. Now, this is actually super simple to do. You know, who would want to take to your iron and try to roll that in? So it's almost too small to hold at your iron. So I'm going to just get it started. It's a nice, about a 1/4 inch finish if you ever need a tie for something. So as we get it started here, move your needle position as needed based on your fabric thickness. I'm going to just go ahead and get it started here. Lengthen your stitch length if you want. And then as you start, there we go, needle down, and to hold it, and then we can just take our fingers, fold this to the inside, pull a little bit, and you will find just because of the groove that's made with this foot, you may need to just assist it just a little bit to get started and during the sewing process. Once the fold is created, bring half of it, the top half, up into the fold of the foot, and it will do the rest of the work for you. Stop when you need to, refold, and your ties are going to be super simple to make and can be used on a variety of projects.